All right.
Gang's all here.
This looks like Halloween edition. This is the only thing I can slip back my next with.
So you decided to
we're doing that.
You decided to do your interview with the costume, huh?
I was thinking, I said, you know what? Probably should have done this last week. I should have switched with Janessa when my hair was straight and cute.
Yes. There you go, Kelly. I got your back.
Oh, thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
You know what? I'll join in the festivities.
Oh, look at here. Halloween edition.
Hey.
2 weeks after Halloween. Hey. Are we going to get Storm? Storm coming out?
No. Not sure. But I'll ring.
Oh, look at here. So,
this was last year's Halloween costume.
I love it. Look at here. We didn't wait, what happened to
him? Oh, I wasn't real. I wasn't being real.
Like, I ain't finna hold that shit up all episode.
Oh, it's got a strap on it. It just makes it hard to talk.
But thanks for playing along with me for a few seconds.
Yeah. Well, then, like you said, Halloween was, like 10 days ago.
Man, let me tell you. We ain't gotten to me yet. It's a lot of noise in someone's background.
Yeah. Somebody watching TV?
Oh, it's probably mine. Yeah. That mean y'all gotta stop talking. Y'all like the world didn't stop, guys. Keep going. Finish what you were saying.
We're waiting really for you to take this seriously.
It's really loud.
I'm saying I'm gonna mute myself, but you said you can keep going. Go ahead.
I don't even know what I was talking about. I was just distracted by like, what is all that noise?
Well, Terry said something about it's been 10 days since Halloween or something, and then you said, "Let me tell you something." Mm-hmm. That's it. All right. You worse than me. You don't even smoke weed. That's awful.
I don't know.
That's awful. Okay.
All right.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Worst Ones podcast. Terry and Kelly are still fiery. What y'all said last week? Fiery and fury. What y'all said? What was y'all little things? Fiery and feisty.
I said feisty, yeah.
Something like that.
Yes, because I want the same respect that everyone else with a silent background.
It's silent now.
It is not silent.
I can hear it.
We can clearly hear it.
The TV is paused.
Why do you need the TV on?
It's not on.
All right.
We can hear it, but okay.
We're preachers.
We hear someone talking or something, but go ahead.
We're preachers kids. My name is Rudy. I'm a PK. Kelly, who wants respect on her name, she's a PK.
Absolutely.
Terry Wayne, who's
Princess Kelly.
You a damn lie. That's what it is.
What's a damn lie? What are you talking about? Terry Wayne is in the building.
Hear that TV.
You really don't. But then
someone talking, a kid, something happening.
Hi, Rudy. I'm here too.
Jeez, I can't even introduce you. Jesus Christ.
That's blasphemy, sir.
Well, her name is Janessa, and that's not blasphemy. Janessa, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good because I finished a lot of a major part of work that I needed to get done before Thursday, because Thursday's my last day at work till January.
There you go.
So just, prep pre-surgery stuff and getting my house together and finishing up work stuff, all that jazz. That's it. Oh, and my dad did have his pastoral anniversary on Sunday.
And they didn't take any pictures.
No, we did not.
Right, but they did not take any pictures.
We didn't.
Was there a reason? Y'all just forgot or didn't care?
It's at 22 years,
Every year's a milestone.
We've got plenty. We've got plenty. It wasn't a big deal. And we were kind of scattered after church, so
Maybe that's what happened with Jesus from 12 to 30. They just stopped taking pictures. They was like, yeah, I mean, he doing the same shit. We get it. He preaching, saving. We got it.
yeah, no. It was good though. It was good.
Oh, for sure. Did you have to do any type of PK duties like Kelly was talking about with her stuff?
Yeah. So in true PK duty, my mom told me that she had bought a gold dress, but it was real basic, right? And I was just like, oh, okay, well, cool. So when I was at like in between Sunday school and service started, she was like, Janessa, I need you to go to my house and get my gold mask. And I said, yo, what? And she was like, someone gave me a gold mask and I left it at home and I really need it. And so I was just like, she was like, just go do it. I said, okay. So I missed church because, you know, church is real short now since they've kind of COVID's done condensed a lot of stuff. So I completely missed church because my mother wanted me to go home and get her gold mask to match her outfit for the anniversary for the second service. So
there you go. Okay.
But she did look cute.
Did you say you
saw the picture?
You keep saying a gold mask like that's normal. Why does she have a gold mask?
One of the church members gave her a rainbow pack of N95, KN95 masks.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm thinking like an eyes wide shut kind of party thing.
No,
I'm like, why has she got a gold mask?
It's her N95 mask. Someone gave her like a rainbow pack of all.
I was starting to think she was like a James Bond villain or something.
Oh no. No, and then I sang in the choir because I am still the president of the choir, young adult choir.
Amen. How big is the young adult choir? How many y'all got?
When we're all there, it might be like 20, 25 of us.
Gotcha.
If we're all there.
That's a solid little young adult choir.
Mm-hmm.
Especially young adult, you know. Usually some people only get a young adult praise team. They can't even get a whole choir out of it.
Right.
Gotcha. All right. Tara Wayne.
Yes, sir.
The king of Danye. How are you?
Doing all right.
Marcus. I thought it was.
No, it's not to Marcus.
Okay.
What's the real name? Is it Danye?
Danya. You got me.
I was like, what's the right name?
Danya. Just call it Fort Lauderdale.
Terry just went to the Pixel world or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I?
Okay, you're back.
I was gonna say it didn't change for me.
Go ahead.
But that's it. I got nothing going on.
That's awesome.
As of yet. Yeah. Oh, you guys got an election today, though. Kind of an important one.
Let me see what's going on.
Did everybody get out and vote?
I did. I voted.
I did. I early voted.
I did too.
Me too.
So I
first day.
I actually had to vote for a state I don't even live in anymore. That's how much I move around. So I'm still registered in California.
Mm.
I asked Reese today if she won the lottery.
Right.
She did not.
Well, let me tell you what I did win.
Okay.
$4. Okay.
Amen.
Hey.
I got 2 numbers. I got the Powerball and another number.
If you actually hit the lottery and you're able to be discreet with it, I mean, would you actually tell somebody?
Absolutely not.
Oh no.
Like
I tell everybody.
If you called me and was like, "Yo, did you win?" Come on, man. You don't know. You know I don't play that shit.
Now Reese might tell me.
I wouldn't tell nobody until after some time where I gotta have stuff already in motion. Because if I got just all the money and a bunch of, can I have this for this? And then especially if it's heart tugging stuff, they about to kick me out, me and my babies. No, like,
well, with what the Powerball is right now, even if you won after taxes, you're still looking at over $1 billion. So you could probably spread it around and not really feel it.
True. But I mean, when you got $1 billion, people ask according to what they feel like you got.
I've actually done I've done the math on this for a previous project. If I gave you $1 billion today, you'd have to spend $55,000 every day without missing a day for the next 50 years before you'd run out of money.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
How much money?
Yeah, but I'm saying
50. You'd have to spend $55,000 every single day without missing a day for 50 years.
But
To do what?
We go broke off of $1 billion
before you run out of money.
But what I'm saying is, but you can give away money at a faster rate than that, though. As far as like, if you were just handing it out to people, like you could give away faster than that 50,000 a day for 50 years and be broke before that 50-year mark.
You'd have to do quite a lot of giving out. $1 billion is a lot.
I still just wouldn't even want that pressure. Shit, see, people may, I don't know. It'll be hard. It's hard to trust people the more money you get, even accountants and shit. But
I would tell everybody. I tell everybody in the world. It's like, yeah, who's the big man now?
Hey, you sing Lottery Ticket. That brilliant movie.
Yeah, I work with that guy. One of those guys. Brendan Johnson. I don't know. People kept referencing him from the Lottery Ticket movie.
Brendan T. Jackson.
Yeah, that's the one from. I knew him from what's that movie?
Half Animal one.
No.
Roll Bounce.
No, the
Big Mama's House.
No, he's talking about
one of the good ones.
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. Yeah, that's right. He's the booty sweat guy from Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder is a classic.
Oh, it's a great
classic movie. It's a comedy.
I said it must be a comedy.
Yeah, it's very, very funny. Very, very funny.
Isn't Robert Downey Jr.'s in it?
Yeah, but he's in blackface the whole time for the whole movie. It's crazy.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
All right.
I did have I'm sorry. I did have an anecdote. I always buy a Powerball ticket, right? But I never check them. Like you can check my wallet right now. I always buy one, stick it in my wallet.
Give me these tickets, bruh.
No, listen. I stick it in my wallet and I leave it there for like 3 months, right? Because the way I figure it, it's $2, right? But I get to fantasize about. But I can't fantasize if I don't have a ticket. So I feel like $2 for 3 months of entertainment is a pretty good deal.
Terry, you waste opportunities.
I do check them. You have like 120 days to cash them.
Right. I was about to say you have 3 months, 4 months.
Right. So every few months I'll check it, buy another one, stick it in there. I barely even pay attention to it. But I love the fantasies and I can't fantasize without a ticket.
I really feel like the lotto shit need to go digital like everything else. Like y'all need to better just do that shit from an app because but I'm saying, how much time it takes in the store when people be checking their lotto tickets and all that shit. Apparently the app ain't sufficient enough because that is still an issue. I hate when people come in the store with that lotto shit.
You're talking about checking the tickets or getting the
tickets? I don't play lotto, so I don't know what they're doing, but whatever they're doing, I just know anytime somebody dealing with lottery, the line get backed up because we got.
You can already do it. Like when I bought my ticket, I did it from the app, and when I won the $4, they put it back on the app.
Well, they need to just take the shit out the store and force people on the app because that shit is an inconvenience. But anyways,
I hate how they always say the lotto goes to the kids and the school education system. No, it does not. Every dollar that the lotto gives to the education system, they move some of the money from the education system to somewhere else. It's somehow legal.
I guess.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm doing fine as always. We got
You had a birthday. Tell us happy birthday. What you do? How old are you?
You already said I'm 33. I didn't do anything. And what else you want?
Wow. Now I'm sad.
Right.
Well, I try not to bring it up at all. Kelly just forced it out. So.
Because it's your birthday. Last year you went to Stone Mountain Park and Waffle House or IHOP and you had your friends.
Well, no, last year I did a comedy show and then I just ended up on Stone
Mountain. What?
Wait, the show went that bad that you had to go to Stone Mountain?
Yeah, that was the reason. No, I did the show for my birthday, but the show was technically on the 6th, even though my birthday.
We were all there.
No, but I'm talking about as far as how I ended up on the mountain.
That we were there.
Oh, right. No, for sure. The tickets that Terry didn't buy. So I'm saying but the mountain was impromptu is what I'm saying.
But you did that on your birthday last year.
Correct.
Right.
But I'm saying the intentional thing for my birthday was the show.
Right. I got you.
Which is what I want. Like, so if I would have done another show for my birthday, that would have been dope. But I didn't. So
and the show was your birthday thing, and then the Confederate monument was just icing on the top.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, I'm fine.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But we got Kellie Lee in the building. She's single, fellas. You know,
crazy today.
That's what we're starting out with. Princess Kales 51. We are interviewing her today. She is our last and final segment of the Get to Know Your PKs last interview. This was her idea, and we are finally made it to her.
Today she looks crazy, and her life is falling apart, and she's here.
You don't look crazy. You just got Minnie Mouse ears.
My hair not done.
That's what crazy people do. Crazy people just walk around with like a tiara on and no ball gown. Like she's
Princess Kellie.
There you go. Well, how are you, first of all? And then we'll get into the nitty-gritty.
I'm all right. Work is picking up, getting a little more stressful that time of the year, but so I'm trying to hold that together.
Well, is somebody digging through a bag of chips or something?
Oh, that's me. Probably in my anxiety.
Oh, Kellie. Deep breaths.
You want to hit that?
Man, so I'm gonna be real honest on this one. So I have port wine, Taylor port wine.
Is it good or no?
It's like medicine. And so somebody had left it for me at homecoming, and they were like, I'm a wine drinker, but I never really heard of port before. And so they were saying it was like a stronger wine. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not that great, but I'm on my second glass.
Careful, it is a stronger wine.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if somewhere halfway through this, the wine kicks in, you'll know.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
But otherwise, I'm good.
Gotcha. And you said you wanted this to be the Halloween version.
Yeah.
Which is why
my
you
hair's not done.
So that's the real reason for the
That's the real reason why I don't have it. The hair's not done. I couldn't find a headband, so this was the only one that was still laying out from Halloween. So I put it on with my pearls, and I figured.
So quick question.
What did I?
How long did that last? That was just 2 weeks, 2 week thing?
It really only lasted a week. So it probably would have lasted 2 weeks, but I went back to the gym.
And not to get into your business like that, but how much does something like that cost to get done to only last a week?
I paid $150, but I got like a trim and a deep condition and some other stuff too. I think regular price, just the silk price, is about $85, $90.
Does the deep condition does that?
It costs
but I'm saying, if your hair didn't last, does that still help it last the next time or something? Like, what are you paying?
The only reason I will actually have to say, when I go back to the hairdresser on Friday to tell her that she did a really, really good job. It really would have lasted 2 weeks, which would have been worth it had I had not gone back to the gym. But going back to the gym, I just sweat too much, and so.
But that's what I'm saying. But I feel like, okay, well, I guess it is what it is. I'm saying, like, for me, because I don't feel like you should have to stop going to the gym for a hairdo unless it's something that you're getting specific for a wedding, and then it's done. You wait for the wedding to be over with. But like a hair, especially a straightening thing, that just kind of sucks. But I get it. Yeah. I mean,
because I would love to wear it straight. This is off topic. I would love to wear it straight more. Right. But since going natural, it just doesn't, like I said, last that long going to the gym.
No, I get it.
One of those celebrities, I can't remember her name now. She's supposed to make like a gym wrap that's supposed to help with natural. I haven't tried it yet. It shows up on my Instagram all the time. Nicole Ari Parker. So maybe one day I'll try that and see if that works next time I straighten it. But yeah, but I'll get it braided next week. When you see me, it'll be braided.
Right. Which will last in the gym.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm getting braids too, girl.
Yeah, girl.
Me too.
Next week. Yeah.
Hey, Terry, when you doing your braids?
Right. I can see Terry with braids. I can see Terry with locks.
No. No. There's something about a white person in cornrows that just screams, I might stab somebody. You know, like it's not.
Terry, how long is your hair?
I don't know. It's pretty long.
Picture some individuals. Come on, Terry.
I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Individuals. Instead of it being braided to your scalp, they're like braided down, so it's kind of like your hair would be out. No, I have to send you a picture.
And you think this is a good look for me? Is what you're saying?
I think you pull it off.
No.
I think your girl would like it.
No, I don't think so.
I think you get more girls.
And fans.
How many does one man need?
At least 3, huh?
No.
All right. Well, Kelly Lee, back to you. Right, y'all trying to embarrass Terry because y'all know that will not look good in his head.
I did have a fade as a teenager, but that was
a fade. No, a fade is fade will work, but don't let them trick you with them braids.
I wasn't going to. I don't know where you thought this was going.
So Kelly Lee, tell us about yourself. You know, we with everybody, we pretty much try to start from the beginning and tell us how we got to where you're at now, and then we'll ask our questions.
Yeah, we'll start with previous lovers, and then we'll go on to the rough stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
My journey as a person or as a preacher's kid? What do we ask?
Well,
give us like for our because this is interviewing you, so we're getting to know you. So for our viewers who don't know you, just give us backstory on yourself as well as your preacher kid journey. You can give it separately or together.
We're writing the book of your life, chapter 1. Go.
So I was born September 25th, 1987.
I knew that's where it was going.
In Fort Worth, Texas. At Harrison.
Fort Worth, shout out Fort Worth. I don't
even know if that's my hospital. I just made that up.
Webster's dictionary defines Kelly as
right.
No, it's actually
I was born in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, in 1987.
Quick question. I'm sorry. Is all y'all people's from Fort Worth? Like,
nope. So my parents met in Fort Worth. Neither one of them are from there, but that's where my parents met. My dad was there.
No, go ahead. You answer my question.
My dad was there as a youth pastor, so I've always been a preacher's kid. So my dad was there. He was a youth pastor. My mom was there. Her sister lived there. And so my mom was staying with her sister at the time and went to my dad's church where he was the youth pastor. And I think that he laid eyes on her and said, this is the most beautiful woman in the world. She's going to be my life. And the rest is history.
I ain't mad at that.
Really romanced that up there, didn't you?
So lived there for first 6 years of my life. Again, my dad was a youth pastor. Then he got
sorry, just a real quick question. Was he doing all the hip hop songs was he doing all that back then?
He was really doing that back then. I do remember like Hallelujah Night and all of that. But I don't really remember that back then. But I really wasn't a part of the youth ministry though. So I don't even know.
Gotcha.
So then second grade, I moved to North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina. My dad got a job there as a youth pastor of a pretty big church, good sized church in North Carolina. So we were there for 3 years, second through fourth grade. I think that's when I really started to understand what being the pros and cons of being a preacher's kid. I think that's probably where that first idea of like being on a pedestal or having to be perfect or have to do things certain way really I really started to kind of understand that concept or get into that concept. So that was second through fourth grade. And then my uncle,
Carwin,
Lee, he asked my dad to come here And I don't know how long Berean had been established before we got here, but to come here to Atlanta to be the youth pastor of Berean.
Where is like where are the Lees from? Where they from? Where they born?
So my Louisiana.
Okay.
So yep, Louisiana. But my dad was born in California. They lived in San Francisco for a minute. I don't even know where my dad was born. California.
Gotcha. But he was raised in Louisiana.
Nope, they were raised in California.
Okay.
I think my I don't know, Chad. I
really was just trying to see was Atlanta or Georgia or somewhere tied up in there, whatever. So even
I don't know how my uncle got to Georgia.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Even he
ended up he went to ITC. So he went to ITC. So maybe that's how he got to Georgia.
Okay.
But yep, no, they grew up in California. Like my dad went to Crenshaw in LA. But they grew up a lot of times in San Francisco. But yep. So moved here, like I said, 5th grade. Dad was the youth pastor. For a while, Berean continued to grow. My dad became the associate pastor, probably my 11th, 12th grade year. That was a difficult transition for me, from my dad going from to somebody else being a youth pastor. And I am very much, and I guess it's time to be honest and transparent, I'm very much Princess Kelly. I'm very much spoiled. I'm very much want things the way that I want them. That was a very, very hard transition for me to have someone else be the youth pastor. Really like my senior year of high school. I had a lot of little meltdowns. If you ask some other people, just in like youth council meetings and stuff, just like I said, just mad because my daddy wasn't the youth pastor anymore. So it was a hard transition for me. So then went off to college again. My dad was the associate pastor. I think maybe my freshman year in college, I think he officially got the title. I'm
sorry, I don't want to move past it just in case I end up forgetting. Do you know where that came from as far as the whole Princess Kelly spoiled kind of?
Probably my grandmother. I think my grandmother named me Princess Kelly since I was born.
I'm saying, but not just the name. I'm saying, but that attitude when you said that,
know. And it, you know what? And some of it may root from. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Some of it may root from the pedestal I felt like I was put on. I think some of it I hated, because I felt like, right, I had to be perfect and I couldn't do anything wrong. And then some of it I may have leaned into a little more. And if y'all gonna place me here, then I'm gonna be here.
Right.
So it may have been a mixture of both.
Gotcha.
Yep.
If y'all gonna place me here, then I'm gonna be here. That's deep.
Hey y'all, sorry to interrupt, but we have a few church announcements. Follow us on Instagram at The Worst Ones PK. New content coming soon. We also have a TikTok at The Worst Ones PK. No content yet, but continue to check us out. If you want to, when you listen to our podcast, you can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast. Just make sure you type in The Worst Ones Podcast and you'll find us. And when you get there, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you share. Thank you to our 500,422 followers. We love you so much. Now, back to the show. So then went off to college. My father became the associate pastor. And then 12 years ago, my father became the senior pastor of Berean Gwinnett. So my uncle wanted to do an additional location. So he moved from the DeKalb and then added the Gwinnett. At first, he was still pastoring both. My father was like the lead, but my uncle would still come over and preach most Sundays. And then, I guess officially 12 years ago, my dad officially took over the Gwinnett location. And now Berean has another location in Henry County too.
And who's over that one?
It's a good question. I can tell you, but I don't know if that's true. Who it used to be, who it is now, I don't know.
Usually
I'm gonna need you to have the family together.
She like a K2.
Usually it's the interviewers that have to do the research.
See, they should have known, not me.
No, Kelly, because of all the people who would know, it would be you.
I think because I don't even want to call somebody's name, and that's not right.
We can talk about it off camera.
Let me see. Let me Google it real quick, see if I can find it.
It
says Dr. Kerwin B. Lee. So Uncle Kerwin.
Okay. Amen. Okay, so go ahead. So
but yeah, so that takes us here. So now, like I said, my dad's the pastor of the Gwinnett Berean Christian Church, Gwinnett, and that's my journey.
So I have a question. It's going back to your back journey. You said when you guys were in North Carolina, that's when you kind of started understanding what being in the PK world was.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like, okay, so your dad was a youth pastor. Did you feel like there was less pressure because your father was a youth pastor and not like the senior pastor? Or do you feel like, you still, or do you feel like there's a difference? Because you've done both. Your father's been a youth pastor and a senior pastor. Do you feel like there's a difference in the positions?
So I think as a young child and your father being a youth pastor, so yes, overall, do I think there's a difference? But I think being a youth and your father being a youth pastor, there's a lot of pressure there because not only do you have the pressure of your peers and kind of the way they look at you, you also have the adults and their parents. And so when I say that was my first time kind of understanding what it meant to be a preacher's kid, it was like the first time where they're like, oh, I forgot what they called my dad back then, Reverend Lee. That's Reverend Lee's daughter, And so that was the first time that I really I remember just having to be aware of my actions and behaviors. Now, I've never been, a bad girl or misbehave or someone that was always in trouble. I was always very conscious of my behavior and how I acted. And beyond being a preacher's kid, I think just the way my parents raised me. My parents raised me to be, just considerate of others and to be a good girl. So that's always what I've been. But I think that's where I can date back to just saying, oh, that's Pastor Kevin, Reverend Lee's daughter. And just making sure that my behavior always aligned to what was right. I just remember like doing little things, maybe roaming around the church or running around, or whatever, and being called out. And not Reverend Lee's daughter. So I think that was the first time I kind of understood that.
Thank you.
But you pretty much dealt with as far as your dad being the head pastor as an adult, though, right? Not you.
Right.
You didn't, right?
Yeah. So like I said, so he was the youth pastor. He was my youth pastor most of my life until the senior year. Like I said, when I just couldn't take my daddy not being a youth pastor anymore.
Did you take advantage when he was the youth pastor? Like, did you not so much as far as being perfect, but I don't got to do this because my dad is the youth pastor, or I can sit up front, or whatever it was. Like, I get extra candy. Like, did you ever take advantage of that? That whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish that there was somebody else here to tell you my story. Because they'd probably be more honest about who I was than I am.
I'm quite fascinated about what Rudy said. I get to sit in front. Like, who chooses that?
Yeah, I don't. Probably yes and no. I don't know. That's hard to say. Probably yes and no. I'm sure I did. I'm sure I took some advantages of my last name is Lee and I'm gonna do what I want to do. I can't imagine that I didn't. But again, I think I've always been overly aware of my behavior and how it looked to other people as well. So it's kind of a balance of it.
Quick question. Do you consider yourself from Atlanta when people ask? Or do you say Texas or North Carolina or?
I say I'm from Atlanta. I wasn't born. I'll say like I wasn't born here, but I grew up here. I can't tell you, hangout spots. And when you talk about, what did we do back in DeKalb County? Golden Glide and South DeKalb and when Stonecrest opened, that's my childhood. So I couldn't tell you what to do in Fort Worth or in Greensboro or in any of those places.
Right.
But I definitely say I'm from Atlanta, though I will say I wasn't born here.
Was there any, I guess, level of relief or excitement or any feeling when your dad became the youth pastor, just say more at y'all's family church as opposed to those other churches?
I don't think I knew the difference. Yeah, I don't think.
You were like, I'm princess, bitch, regardless. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck where we at.
I don't.
Oh my God.
First of all, I'm not that bad. That's probably about 10-15% of Kelly. The other 85, believe it or not, is probably this more quiet, withdrawn. Right. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Let me make sure everybody is okay. But there is a 15% of her. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't care where we at.
But there's only 15% of me. The other 85. But yeah, I don't even know if I really noticed. You know, as a young kid, moving is just a lot. You know, having to start a new school, having to meet new friends.
Moving as an adult is a lot.
Yeah,
so I can imagine as a kid, you know.
So yeah, I think I was probably more focused in and honed in on that. Am I going to make friends? You know, who are my friends going to be? You know, all of that.
No, I get it. So, but as far as the church wise, like you didn't necessarily like one better than the other, even as far as the kids, the youth,
I think I was able to. So we've always talked about my father is like the best youth pastor ever. And so I think at Berean in that time through 5th through 12th grade, I mean, of course, I always say I preferred that time because that was the time I really got a chance to engage and participate in youth ministry. So I'll always say that was probably the best time of my father being a youth pastor, was me being youth and being able to experience it. And him even being open, not just me as his daughter, but really just being open to youth leading things. And I just let us do all sorts of crazy out the box things. Hey, let's try it. So I think, I definitely feel like I enjoyed that piece a lot. I mean, like we've all talked about, at least me, Rudy, Janessa have talked about like youth church 6th through 12th grade. I mean, that was life. What in school, that was life. And I enjoyed that part of life.
Were you a part of the youth council with your father on that?
So in the beginning, he wouldn't let me.
Okay.
Yep. So I guess in order to not show favoritism, when he first started youth council, he wouldn't let me. And I was mad because, you would think like, oh, like age, like, oh, there's people younger than me on the youth council or, people in the same grade. Why couldn't I do it? Now, mind you, I was there at all the meetings. I just went on you because how else was I going to get home or where else I was going to go during the meetings after church other than to be there? I just wasn't an official member of the youth council, which made no sense to me. But anyway, but yeah, so initially, no. It may have been maybe about a year or two in where he kind of, in my peer group, where he kind of let me really be a part of the youth council, which I was a little upset about.
So when you weren't officially in the youth council, did you still talk to your dad about, hey, I think this would be a good idea, or how about we try this? Or did you have to kind of stay out of it and just be an observer?
Yeah, no, he was still pretty open. I may not have said it in like the meetings, or I probably did, knowing me. But I definitely, my dad has, one thing I love about my dad is my dad has always allowed me the opportunity to give my thoughts on his sermons, on things that we can do. Nope, I don't like that. What do you, try it this way, hey, bring a whole boat on stage when you do the story about, what I'm saying? Step inside a whale and put your head, what I'm saying? Like he'll, okay, let's try it. So no, he's always been able to, he's always allowed me to still give my thoughts, give my opinions, even when he wouldn't officially let me on the youth council.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I was trying to cough while I was on mute. But you answered the question quicker.
Well, I got a quick question. So when people who are smoking cough, what is that like? Did you take in too much? Is it Is it burning? Is it like, why are you coughing?
Because your lungs don't like smoke. That's why.
Oh,
I mean, it's just kind of like sometimes, you know, you can choke yourself up drinking water, or even, you know, sometimes swallowing your own spit. Like sometimes
happens a lot with smoke.
Sometimes shit
just it happens a lot with smoke.
No, but because to Terry's point, I mean, you're putting smoke inside. It's still smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that definitely matters. But I'm saying, but the reason why it doesn't happen every time is because, you know, sometimes it hits you different, you know, way.
Okay. You get used to it.
It's better. Like, oh, you know, he smoked and he coughed. That's some good weed there. You know, you see it like in movies when like
right.
Somebody else and
right. I think that's just, but I think they kind of doing that for dramatics though. Like, like you can get as high as they are without choking as hard as they are as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wonder. I seen it in real life too, but you know.
No. And I'm saying, like it's not that you can't cough off good weed, but I'm saying like they're doing that to add the funny and the dramatic effect of emphasizing but it's strong, you know.
So does that mean like it's stronger, it's better because you're coughing, or is it just a regular?
What I'm saying, in real life it can, but not necessarily, is what I'm saying. But in movies, definitely that's what they're insinuating.
Okay.
Sure. I have a question for Kelly. It's a two-part question.
Kelly, I'll be ready for mine.
Why did you vote for Herschel Walker, and why do you love him so much? That's my two.
So Kelly, would you like my question?
I did not. I didn't. So that's it.
That's the only election joke I had. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Nope. Sorry.
Go ahead, Janessa.
No, I was going to ask you, you know, well, our viewers might not know, but you have a long history in psychology and that world. Did your time as a PK influence your career and what you're doing now, especially now that you work with youth?
That's a great question.
That's actually a really good question.
Yeah.
You know, maybe subconsciously. Maybe watching my father again support youth, encourage youth, help youth. All of my life, like I said, is kind of in my blood, in my veins, in my spirit to do the same. Ministry wasn't quite this. I don't feel like I'm called to ministry in that way. But even my mom, like when I think about my mom as a preacher's wife, as a pastor's wife, her passions and where she gets involved in church is more so with youth as well, young girls. Is really where her passion lies as well. So I think it's in my blood. I think it's what I've seen. So yeah, probably. Just not in the church fashion, not in the church way, but my mom was like a Girl Scout leader growing up. She, you know, then started her own girls ministry at the church. And so yeah, youth is just kind of what my family does. And I think my father is still a youth pastor at heart. Like if he had a real choice, I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to youth. But yeah, so I definitely think it's in my blood, it's in my veins, definitely what I know, definitely what I love, definitely even on my tough days. And like I said earlier, you know, work is stressful, work is hard. I do start to, and it's yearly, just kind of get really stressed out and overwhelmed with my job. Like I said, that's nothing new. But I love it to my core, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else other than helping kids. And I definitely feel like that's what I know. That's my family.
Oh.
Absolutely. Is that the end of the interview? Well, you can find me at.
First of all, you can't be found at because it's private.
Yeah, nobody finds
it. Maybe I'll open it up for this episode.
What is your real desire when it comes down to just say like this husband that you?
No, Lord. To my husband, what is my desire? My desire is I wish I could sing. If I could sing, I was looking at something today on Instagram. This is so off topic. And this woman was singing to this man, and I said, Lord, if I could sing or dance, I probably already would have had my husband. Why?
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, it's not how that works at all.
Yes, it is. Because with all, and I know you guys are men and can be husbands, but I think if I was able to sing with all my other qualities, I think that just would have put me in the forefront. And let's be clear. So if I could sing, let's go down this route.
Is a route?
Yes. Let's go down this path.
I'm just saying, I don't know if Rudy's ever done this, but I've never looked at a girl and go, "Oh, I've got to get with her. Look at how she dances." Like,
yes, men absolutely have. Now,
if she twerking,
right? It ain't gotta be a wife, but it definitely says.
But definitely not because of singing though. Singing, I ain't never gave a damn about if she could sing or not. Like,
let me tell you,
like, girl, you fine as hell.
But that means if you can't sing, did you get rejected because you can't sing? Like, how's she gonna sing lullabies to my kids one day?
Now, Kelly, I agree with you. A man who can sing it does something to me. Okay,
yeah.
Right. So,
a woman who can sing, it ain't the same for men though.
Let me.
It's not. We don't care.
Let me tell you the way my vision works in my head, why this looks like, and maybe you can help me stop being so mad at God at the end of this.
That's why we're trying to stop you before you even say it.
but no, picture this though, right? So my dad goes around to all of these places, and he does, ministry. So he used to travel a lot to preach conferences or whatever. So think of all of the exposure that I had if each time before he preached, I sung first. See, because that would put me out there a little more, would have to communicate. People would come to me like, oh my gosh, Kelly, you're just so filled with the Spirit. You have such a beautiful voice. I would bring men in. I would have been married. Otherwise, I've missed all of those opportunities because I was so quiet and shy, sitting in the background. My dad may say, hey, I'm so happy my daughter is here. Stand up, Kelly. And I'm like, but if I was in the front singing, he'll say, my husband would say,
I disagree.
I'm not finished.
I disagree.
Let me finish. Wait, let me finish. My husband would have said, man, she's beautiful. Man, she has on this, look at her body in that bodycon dress.
It says
the covering bodycon dress.
That's what this is all about.
That says God is dope right here.
Right, it says God is dope.
It has nothing to do with the voice. You just want a reason to be in front of people.
No, it's not even
with your dress on.
It has nothing to do with the singing. You're just describing being outgoing. Why don't you just say, can I be more outgoing? Because that's all you're talking about.
I'm just talking.
I know it's nonsense. That's
Kelly, I see the vision, okay?
I see the vision.
Women are attracted.
But
women are attracted to a man who can sing because it's a skill, and women like skills. Men like faces, tits, and asses. That's what we're in this for.
Okay.
Yeah.
But back to my question. What do you want from a man? Like, what are you looking for in your husband? Switch the water for that one. She went from wine to water on that one. Let me get my.
She was reverse Jesus.
Let me get my sober thoughts together.
Right.
Name it and claim it.
Right. I've been thinking a lot about that. I definitely want a man that first loves the Lord. And when I say that, I mean, who do you hold yourself accountable to as a husband? And so I feel like a lot of us, even Christians, kind of go through life not really holding ourselves accountable to anybody. Like, I can just do what I want. The Lord knows my heart. I can do this and he's going to forgive me. And we're not really serious and honest about the walk that we have with Christ. And so I want my husband to be someone who can truly lead the family, who can truly lead me as a wife, because he holds himself accountable to God. Look at Terry. For that reason alone, that he holds himself accountable to God. I think that's first. When I think of the divorce rate When I think of the Instagram glam, when I think of the people who smile and are happy and have all these beautiful pictures and they go on trips and this beautiful engagement and wedding and they spent especially such $1,000 on this and it looks great on the outside, but they're absolutely miserable on the inside. You know, I don't want that. I don't want the feeling of, you know, you grow, you change, you evolve, that we grow apart and then it's just easy, like, okay, I just don't want to be with you anymore. Or I gain weight, or I get breast cancer and I don't have breast anymore. I get in a car accident and I'm in a wheelchair. And it's just so easy for you to go to the next woman that, no, I may not like. Men like face and breast and butt. So what happens when, you know, I can't cook and I burn my face off in the oven, you know, on the oven?
Kind of going to extremes there, aren't you?
In there.
Nah, but
with you and do you with
but it. Y'all always call me extreme, but I'm that's real to me.
You know,
because I'm saying because it's as a man, it's very, especially if you get with a woman because of her looks. If she lose them for any reason, like it's easy to be like, well, she got her face. You done lost yours in the fire. She got her face and it looked good. You want me to sit here and try to deal with this the rest of my life or move on to a gooder face? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, now you can call it extreme if you want to, but there's people who have had to face this reality in real life.
Oh my God.
And so that's what I'm saying, Kelly. I'm with you.
No.
Thank you.
I was with Kelly.
I feel like there's
because she was fucking.
I feel like there's somebody who's been with each part of my craziness tonight.
You feel me? I'm with you.
Everybody's been with just a little piece. Everybody else may be like, no, but one of y'all text me.
If your cooking is that bad, I'm gonna need you to Uber Eats it, okay? Grubhub.
But no, but I think that's important to me because again, like I said, people gain weight, things happen unexpectedly. You know, who I am personally, you know, may look different. I'm not the same person at 25 as I was at 35. If I get married at 35, I won't be the same woman at 45. Right. But are you going to stick with me even when, you know, like I gained the weight, I burned my face off, you know, I have some type of illness that
yeah, they'll stick with you. It depends on how good you can sing.
Oh. Good point. Right.
Absolutely.
Good point. You know, but again, like I said, but I think going back to my point of like him truly loving God and holding himself accountable to God means that you're a husband, despite I married Kelly because she's beautiful on the outside, and now that has adjusted a bit, and now I don't find her beautiful. So do I go find the younger, you know, version of Kelly who still has her whole face intact, or do I really? Okay,
I'll tell you what you do. You say, just I know I ain't got no face anymore, but you stay with me and you just get a hall pass to go out and do that.
No, but see, and that's my point in terms of someone who truly holds himself accountable to God, that just because I no longer have a face doesn't mean that you get to go and do whatever you want to do.
You got to bring somebody with a face, though. That's a rule. That's a rule. You can't be in there hooking up with no faceless broads. That's weird.
But she's not just a broad. It's your wife.
Am I Jeffrey Dahmer over here? What the hell?
This is your wife. And so whether I continue to find you physically attractive, so then what? I burn my face off and you no longer want to have sex with me as my husband? Like,
it's not like you gained 30 pounds. No. You don't have a face.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Hey, you just got to hit it from the back. Listen, all right. So,
yeah, I guess.
All right. So
you can't be looking at no face holes.
Quick question, Kelly. Do you I think we asked you this before, and I think I even asked you, but would you be opposed to marrying a pastor or somebody who was getting ready to be a pastor or whatever the case may be, like becomes a pastor? Like, would you be okay with becoming a preacher's wife or first lady? And the reason why I say that, because I know your mom, even in just say the first lady seat, like she kind of is more of his wife as opposed to like trying to be the, you know, You know what I'm trying to say, like that first lady. So I'm saying, so whatever it looks like for you, but as far as like you being married to a man with that, you know, whatever that mantle.
So I'm trying to think of how deep I want to go with y'all today.
It's your interview. You got to go deep.
It's pretty shallow so far.
You know, I don't know. I definitely don't want I'm the first lady, you know,
right.
Again, you know, the put me on the pedestal, I'm the first lady, bow down to me. I definitely don't desire that life at all.
Right.
But you're Princess Kells.
I am, but
you love the pedestal.
I want to retire that in my marriage. And become the queen and be and lay back in the cut.
So now not Princess Kells, now we're Queen Kells.
Once I get married, then I'll be a queen. Oh, this is gonna be a whole situation in the wedding too. Like I can't wait. But
a coronation.
It's gonna be it's like
a coronation in the wedding.
And my father giving me away, and my husband accepting, you know, his job as the king, and I'm the queen. Oh, it's gonna be a whole situation. I can't wait. But
She gonna rent out a castle on Tyler Perry Studio.
Right.
I know.
We're going to Disney World,
and yet she wants him to stick around with her with no face.
It's gonna be like the cast of Bridgerton.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's going to be.
You know what queens have? A face. That's what queens have. Queens have a face.
After we get married anyway, so I still have a face at the wedding.
But go ahead, though. Go ahead.
But I'm learning in my current dating situations, I don't like to share. And I think it's because I've always felt like I to share my dad. And so I don't want a husband where I feel like, and this may sound really bad and really selfish, but I don't want a husband where I feel like I have to share. And as a minister's wife, as a preacher's wife, as a pastor's wife, depending on what capacity that's in, depending on what that looks like, then I may experience this all over again. And I don't want to. And even if it just starts off as he's a deacon or whatever, we know that, you know, there's possibilities that things change and things grow and, you know, or whatever. I don't want to share. I want a real low key husband that, you know, that works his job, whether it's a 9 to 5 or whatever it is. And he come home to me and the kids. And that's what we do. That is more.
Oh, productive. You mean share his time? I thought you meant like orgy situation. Like, no, of course not. Okay, all right, my bad.
Time. Right.
That was way off base.
Yep, I'm sure. Not a surprise. But yeah, so I don't know. So at this point I don't desire it. Because I just feel like it mirrors too much of my childhood, and I just prefer someone who comes home every night.
So what if he wasn't necessarily like a pastor, but like let's say he was, you know, one of the ministers or elders or whatever they want to be called at that particular church, but he did like travel, just say quite a bit as far as like with preaching. You know what I'm saying? Like he say at least maybe like, you know, 3 days a week, 3-4 days a week, like he on the road.
Absolutely not. In any job. Minister or no minister, I would definitely not prefer a husband that is traveling 3 to 4 times a week.
Depends on how much he makes. That's
and you can say that at one point, but my love language is most definitely quality time. And I just like being in someone's presence. And no, so I don't.
Well, have you thought about the fact that if he's gone 3 or 4 days a week, all the time he spends with you would be focused on quality time? You know, the days that he is with you, and then the days when he's gone, he's just cheating on you, and it'd be fine. Did that ever occur to you?
Nope.
So let me ask you this. You know how most women, and I'm not sure saying this is you, but most women say that, like, you know, they want a man that's like their father, especially if they have a good father. Is that true for you? And if it is there any qualities about your father outside of obviously him being a pastor? Because you've already said you don't want to marry somebody who anybody has a job with that. So, but it like does that same thing, I guess, hold with your father outside of just the preaching thing? Like, you would want him to have all the other characteristics outside of just the pastor thing?
Absolutely. My father is a superhero, Superman to me. I would love for my husband to be as caring, as kind, as giving, as understanding, as loving, as my father is. I don't know anyone who probably holds himself accountable to the Lord as much as I've seen my father does. Which is why I have, when you ask me what I'm looking for in a husband, that's one of the things that I said first, and that's very much my father. I think the only thing, the only space where I feel like I don't want my husband to be like my father is that time piece.
Right.
And that's whether he's a doctor, whether he's a lawyer, whether he's an astronaut, whatever he is.
So this is what I was going to ask, because you made your point. So my follow up to that was, but what if, because he is as good of a man as he is and accountable to the Lord and stuff like that, what if you having a man like that, like it comes with the territory of him having some position where he has to just say use that gift of being that person with more than just you and your family? Like, what if that just comes with the territory of getting a man like your father?
That's a good question. And that's something that we'll have to really, really sit down and talk about, those boundaries of time and what that looks like. Because I truly 100% see in my current dating situations where, and sometimes it's not even good, but I can be a bit selfish with time and, and so I don't want that to cause a problem. So my hope is that the both of us are mentally, emotionally, spiritually mature enough to kind of talk about what that looks like and be honest about what that looks like. Because I do see where that's going to be difficult for me. And I'm working through it on my, I'm trying to work through it as much as possible on my own where it doesn't come off as baggage. But a part of it is, I prefer a man that doesn't travel weekly. I prefer a man that you're not calling, like, and Terry's told the stories of his dad a lot, of people showing up to the house or calling late at night or, or those type of things. I don't want that type of situation.
Right.
Somebody need to lower their standards a little. That's what I think. You got a lot of rules.
Somebody else said that too. Maybe that's why I'm still single.
Yeah.
Terry said, yeah.
Would you take a job that required him to move a lot? Like, how you moved a lot as far as like because of your dad's job. So just say like he could come home every night type thing, but y'all do move, you know what I'm saying, a lot. Like, would you?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think there's some crazy things that you do for love. And to be with my man, we move every year to a different state.
Right.
I may do it. I think in the past I probably would have been like, no. I think now it's like, if that's what it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you when you pray to God, like, do you be saying all these different specifics, like, God, I don't need this nigga traveling. I need him home.
I don't say that in my prayer. I don't. In my
should
get on my knees prayer. I don't. Well, Terry said I got too many rules, so maybe I need to. My expectations.
Well, you need to see what God says.
Okay? Don't bother God with that. Put that on your vision board or whatever.
That's what I don't say.
Bother God with that.
Don't bother God. Put it on your vision board. That's a good one. But no, I think I start with the Lord. I want him to love you and be accountable to you, and then I'm gonna trust you with the rest of it. Because I may give you this whole thing here, and then my husband may be pastor so and so
who travel every day,
right?
And you right there with him on the private jet with the baby.
Me and the right, exactly. Say all this now,
this our nanny,
right? Ladira, I don't know where they came from.
You still got on the princess. The Minnie Mouse ears. Right. Y'all just came from Disney World.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that so I can say all this now. So really, I think I've gotten to the point where I like what Terry said. I don't like how he said it in terms of don't bother God with that, put on your vision board. But just in terms of like Lord, at this point I'm 35. Lord, I'm gonna let you lead. In terms of what he looks like. Right. I prefer at this point not to operate in my own will and get into something that doesn't work. I've done that for the last 15, 20 years of my life. In terms of dating and marriage at this point, I want Lord, you show me who it is. And it may be totally different from everything that I've said. I don't know what he looks like, but I don't want to be pigeonholed to it has to look like this.
Gotcha. I personally, I don't know about everybody. I got two questions. One is really quick, and then one you may have a medium answer. The really quick one was as far as with the man, and I know you say you being open as far as to who he is and how he is, but would you open as far as outside your race and all that type of stuff as well?
To an extent, yes. Probably more so than I've been in the past.
I mean, to an extent.
To an extent, yes. More so than I've been in the past. I would definitely say in the past, I definitely preferred a black man. I think at this
racist.
Point, I know you're going to say that. I think at this point, I am open to an extent.
Gotcha. Okay. And then my other question was, I know we've kind of talked about it before, but in reference to the podcasting world, what was your experience when it came down to podcasts prior to doing this one? And has your experience changed when it comes down to podcasts? Like, do you listen to more podcasts now that you've done this one? Do you listen to less? Do you still not give a fuck about podcasts? Or even just, just the effects of this podcast on your.
Oh, you should have said it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Answer. But I'll start with the first one. Do I listen to more podcasts? So this is gonna sound really bad. I don't really. Yes. Do I listen to more podcasts now? Yes. I still don't listen to it in great number because sometimes I don't really care about people's personal opinions about something. That may sound bad, but
she has no interest in learning anything from anyone.
Nope, that's not what I'm saying. But it's just people's personal opinions about things. Sometimes I just don't. Now, if it's research based, experience based, if it's you're coming from some sort of data that you have, then hey, let's talk about it. Let's hear about it. But just everybody can. Well, including us. Everybody can make a podcast these days and talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Because y'all answers don't be halfway researched.
Including us.
But I definitely do listen to podcasts more now that I didn't prior. It wasn't a big thing for me prior that I do now.
But you knew what they were prior to doing it?
Yeah, I knew what they were, but I just really wasn't listening to them. But the majority of the ones that I listen to are psychologists talking about like mental health things. I'm probably listening to something about ADHD or autism or something work related. I do have this one guy that I like to listen to in terms of like he's like a relationship coach. So about like relationships and men and women and those type of things. But again, they have some type of background and skill in what they're talking about. Not that I just sat down with a microphone and paid a monthly subscription and I posted on Instagram. Nope, don't want to do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Gotcha. Like I said, but even us, like we come from a preacher's kid, so it makes sense. When married couples are talking about relationships, it makes sense. When people just sitting down talking about nothing.
Right. Right. No, that's real. I got you. All right.
Yep.
All hearts and minds clear.
But I will want to say this in closing. This podcast and I've said this before. This podcast has helped me a lot, just in terms of being honest with myself, kind of coming out of my shell, understanding some of the roadblocks or baggage that I may have being a preacher's kid, some things that I didn't really realize until being on these podcasts and having these conversations. I definitely appreciate each of the three of you for, again, one, showing up every week, because we've shown up every week. This might be officially 2 years. We've shown up just about every week for Not quite.
Tomorrow.
But when this drops, this will be 2 years, right? That we've shown up every week for the last 2 years. Rudy has. I don't know if Rudy has missed an episode.
I'm not allowed to.
Right. No, you're not. You're right. It's written in your contract. But and even tired and annoyed and stressed and overwhelmed, and I really don't want to talk to them today. I look forward to our Wednesdays. So I love each one of you. I thank you. Like I said, I know sometimes I can be up and down and crazy and all around, but for putting up with me each and every week. So I do love this podcast, and it's done a lot for me personally. So thank you.
That's what's up. We love you too, Kelly Lee. We appreciate you sharing your story today. One of these days, hopefully, you can take off the "it's private."
One day, after 2 years, I still haven't.
But for today.
Let me say this too with my Minnie Mouse ears. So I'm going to Disney World. So I am going to Disney World in 2 weeks for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have my ears there too. So I may actually for my Disney World. Somebody told me that when I post, my posts actually be pretty good. Like they be really engaged in my stories, and I'm like, oh, so maybe I'll share with the world. So maybe for Thanksgiving, I share with the world. But here's my issue with sharing with the world and taking it off private. That I have all of these people that have requested to follow me for the last 10 years. And once I take it off private, they're going to automatically be my friends.
Now, and I don't just delete them or block them now.
And so then they won't. You're so smart. So you can find me at Princess Kels 51. Janessa just solved the world problem. Clearly, I don't use Instagram enough to even realize, like, hey, just delete them. So, at Princess Kels 51. It's private today, but I'm truly considering before the end of the year open it up. I'm gonna make it close friends though.
Baby steps. We'll take it.
Right.
Your account being on private is the close friends. Like it's nothing but close friends on there right now. That's it. That's it.
Give her like half a step, Rudy.
Right. I'm trying to move forward.
It's been 2 years, Kelly. Probably longer than that since you had it private, right?
Yeah, whenever Instagram started, it's been private. I don't think it's never not been private.
Lord,
never.
All right.
You can find me at JRihanna _. We have fun over there, but we probably won't be having fun for a little bit. And I'll catch y'all sometime, hopefully maybe before the end of the year. But if not, I'll catch y'all next year. I'm going to make an effort to be there, though.
At Terry Wayne Comedy, all social media platforms. And, Unclaimed Ashes again on Amazon.
What do you mean again? It's your thing. It's your book.
All right.
You don't want to plug your book?
Go on Amazon. Buy it. You'll like it. And if you don't, I'm keeping the money. So
I officially put it on my bookshelf this weekend.
Oh.
So
it's definitely not getting read.
Nope, never getting read.
From my dining room table to the bookshelf.
She's gonna be moving one day, like her husband gonna move to a new house. She was like, "What the hell? Oh shit!"
It's a Terry in 8 years. I'm like,
right.
How you doing?
I never did read this damn book.
I just found your book.
But I bought it.
I did.
Lord have mercy. All righty. Well, thanks again, Kelly Lee, for your story and your time.
Absolutely. We didn't get too deep, so I'm all right. Terry said it was real surface level, so I appreciate it.
Terry didn't ask you anything besides something about
her.
Yeah. I'm the comic relief. So.
Well, if that was your job, we should have talked about. We should have went over your joke before the episode.
Then it's not funny. That's not funny.
Could have got you right. Anyways, y'all be blessed. Keep it real out here in these streets. We the worst ones.
Terry,
we gonna stay the worst.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.